Let's take a look at this easy situational judgment test question based on teamwork and collaboration. So the scenario is that Sophie is presenting with her project partner during a student-led teaching session. Her partner becomes flustered and forgets key points. Sophie feels the session is becoming disorganized. We need to have a look at these responses and choose the most appropriate and the least appropriate action, and the third option is a null option, neither the best nor the worst. I often think it's best to read through all three options, and quite often it's easiest to find the least appropriate first. So A, calmly take over the presentation and help move it forward without drawing attention to the mistake. B, criticize her partner in front of the group for being unprepared. C, suggest a short break so they can regroup before continuing. I think we can definitely identify that B is the least appropriate action. Criticizing her partner in front of the group, her partner is going to feel under attack. It's potentially going to upset her partner. It is unprofessional as well. Sophie might choose to speak to her partner privately after the session and perhaps discuss how they could have better prepared for this presentation, but publicly in front of everybody else would not be a good course of action. So trying to identify our most appropriate, well, we may think that taking a short break would be the most appropriate response. But really, in this situation, Sophie probably could step up, manage the situation calmly, and there's no need to take that break and kind of continue the presentation afterwards. So A would be the most appropriate action. C would be a null option. Perhaps not necessary if Sophie can take over in this presentation. Let's take a look at this medium level difficulty situational judgment test relating to teamwork and collaboration. The scenario is that Ria is a third year medical student assigned to a surgical team. On ward rounds, she notices that one of the Foundation Year 1 doctors appears flustered and is struggling to keep up with documentation. The team is moving quickly and Ria is unsure whether to intervene. We need to rank each of these responses as what level of appropriateness are they. Very appropriate, appropriate but not ideal, inappropriate but not awful, and very inappropriate thing to do. Let's take a look at A. Quietly ask the FY1 if she would like help writing down the plan. This would be a very appropriate action to take. The reason it's appropriate is because it shows that initiative and offers support and that kind of professional consideration. It doesn't overstep the mark. Technically, the FY1 is senior to Ria as she is only a third year medical student. And it is showing respect to that degree of seniority, that hierarchy, before just intervening by herself. With that in mind, B, start filling in the documentation herself to save time. You may think, well, why bother talking about it? Why not just do it straight away? Well, this would be very inappropriate. So very inappropriate. The reason for that is because the medical students, you're not qualified. Medical students should not be completing documentation without supervision. This potentially violates patient safety, and patient safety is of the utmost concern. C, mention it to the registrar later in case the FY1 needs more support. This would be an appropriate action. I think A is kind of very appropriate. C is appropriate, but perhaps not ideal because it misses that opportunity to intervene in the moment. The timeliness of the help has been lost, and the FY1 may have made mistakes during these ward rounds. So appropriate, but not ideal. And then D, ignoring the situation, assuming it's not her role. This would be inappropriate. I perhaps wouldn't go as far as saying very inappropriate. It is the foundation year doctor does need to take that personal responsibility in regards to keeping up with their own documentation. But it is not kind of addressing the situation. Ria herself is not addressing this situation. And it's also failing to offer that support to the other doctor and that kind of teamwork and group support there. Let's take a look at this hard situational judgment test question relating to teamwork and collaboration. So the scenario is that during a simulation workshop, a group of students is tasked with responding to a deteriorating patient. One member repeatedly takes charge, dismissing suggestions and interrupting others. The team struggles to complete the task effectively. How important are the following considerations? So we need to rank these as being very important, important, of minor importance, and not important at all. Now, when we're ranking them, it's important to remember that not all of those ranks might be fulfilled in the answer. Let's take a look. So A, everyone in the group should have the opportunity to contribute. Absolutely, very important. It's important that everybody works well together. We have good teamwork. This is going to improve decision making and also improve our communication skills, particularly under these perhaps high stress scenarios. B, it's just a simulation, so the dynamic isn't important. This is not important at all. The reason for that is because the simulation is there to prepare us and to teach these real world skills that will be necessary in these high pressure, stressful scenarios. C, the dominant student may not realize that they are being disrupted. This is important. We perhaps want to give the benefit of the doubt and approach the issue constructively. The student may not realize the approach that they have taken. They may not realize that it is perhaps leading to the task not being completed effectively as well. So this is definitely important. I wouldn't go as far as to say that it's the most important thing though. And then the group is falling behind in completing these tasks. Again, important as well. It shows that their approach is not working and the collaboration is going to be kind of more important in completing that task. And these tasks are there to build our collaborative skills so that when we go into the real world, we are well prepared.